Basically what we're doing here today is we're going to be putting together a engine test stand that I'm put together. I'll get some shots of that in a minute. Basically design I've got for being able to not only test marine engines but also any other type of engine that I want to. So it's a mobile cart. It's got 8-inch casters on it. It's got a good height. It ends up being about 15 inches tall. So you got easy access to the engine, easy to work on. I took a bunch of pictures of this as I was welding everything up, and I'll integrate these into the project, and didn't have my camera and my lights set up when I was doing this part. But hopefully as I go forward I'll be able to get some more detail videos as I build these projects. So got to go through the learning curve, of course. But I think this is a neat stand. I think it came out very well. It's going to work good, and you guys will see as we work through. What we're going to do today is I'm going to reassemble the painted pieces and everything that I've built. So I'll talk about it as I go and show you guys all the pieces and parts. So, and actually behind me here you can actually see part of the frame. This is a frame actually standing up on its end that I've been working with, getting everything painted up so we can put it back together. All right, so there's the frame. Actually got it all welded up. The two pieces on the right here, they're going to be the runners. Actually, boat engines have a pretty standard configuration as far as stringers and how they mount in the boat. But I wanted to be able to make this part adjustable so we can adjust it for different size engines. One of the things I have is a Westerbeek generator for the boat that I want to be able to get it running. It's got a 14-inch center to center on its mounting bracket, so I want to be able to move this in. And so there's the caster set up, all the nuts and bolts for it. The handle is going to fit right here and bolt in to the unit like this. So everything bolts together with carriage bolts, real simple. Got everything drilled out. I'll do a couple shots of that. So basically it was a design build, but I did document everything really well as I went through all the different phases to get all the different parts and pieces put together. Pretty straightforward design, actually. Good, durable. All the tubing is made out of 14 gauge steel. The plates for the feet are 3/16 plate steel. The bracing for the skids, all that bracing is actually just a 2x3 angle iron that I've welded together. There's the casters. Got two swivel casters with brakes and two fixed casters on that. All the nuts and bolts there. And there you can see it's just basically took a piece of the 2x3 angle, turned it sideways and welded it on there. And the handle, again, a couple pieces of 2x2 angle, another piece of the 2x3, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail when I get it on the actual unit put together. And the handle itself across there is actually just a piece of thick wall, 1.25 inch water pipe. I'm going to raise this thing up and see if we can't get it positioned so we can see it in action here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fixed casters on this end. I'm using 8-inch casters on this setup because I wanted to have the ability to move over some uneven ground as I put this engine outside to run it. I wanted all the heads of these to be up, so it makes it a little bit tight in here to bolt everything together. But you know, once this, it was for fabricating, it was kind of aggravating, but you know, for final assembly, it'll look good, and won't be coming apart again. So I'll just work my way through it. Next time we fab something up, I'll get some shots of everything being fabricated together. I think it's really cool, you know. I mean, I watch you guys out there, and Keith Rucker and A-Bomb 79 and Keith Finner. I watch these guys work all the time online, and heard somebody refer to the YouTube Technical Institute. I thought that was very cool, because I do learn a lot watching, so I want to be able to give back as I do these projects. I've learned a lot. I've had no formal metal training at all. Everything I've learned over the last 6 or 7 years has been through, just talking to people and getting the equipment and using it. That's really the thing. You just kind of got to get into it and do it. So, all right. I'm going to get this sort of position, run these down as far as I can, because it is a tight fit to get in here and tighten them up. We got our fixed casters on the base. There you can see them. Next, we're going to turn the unit over and put the adjustable casters on the bottom. I rough fitted the adjustable caster on this end. Pretty much the same process. This one, when I put these on, I had, I think I had 3/8 by 1 or 3/8 by 1.5 carriage bolts, and actually had to trim those off. And that's part of the steps when you're doing fab work, is having to basically put things together and take things apart. Put things together and take things apart. I probably had all this stuff together 4 or 5 times, and in the end you finally have to take it all apart just so you can paint it. That's why you just take a little bit more time and make sure things fit and work your way through. So we will get these tightened up. These are a lot easier to get to. Kind of have to make sure as you tighten these up that all the lock washers are in a good spot. Otherwise they can get bound up. And these just need to be good and snug. You're not trying to assemble a head or anything like that. You're just fitting these things on so that the lock washer seats good and everything gets fitted like you want it to. And again, I'm doing these so that all the surfaces up top have the carriage bolt head. So it's a nice and rounded surface, less stuff to catch on as you go about using the engine stand. Because you'll have cables and hoses and everything else there. So, and again, I'm just snugging these up real good. Like that. And this wheel, when I first did this, I forgot to get the ones with the brakes, so I took it out, and that's why you test fit stuff. You turned it loose and it was rolling around all over the place. So I got the brake. This brake locks really well, holds everything in place, resists the turn of the wheel. It's loose, it can spin around really good, and it rolls good. So this is solid rubber, so it can handle the weight. We'll get the other one put on, and then we'll get it down on the ground and get a shot of it. All right, so here we are on the casters. Got everything bolted in. As you can see, I got a good height here. Easy to reach. I'll be able to get to all my parts on my engine pretty good. It's very stable. Got the casters locked in place. And all these seams are welded. It's welded all the way around here and here. So this is really good welds, penetrating welds. And I wanted to have that plate here, on each corner to give me something for those feet to bolt to. Again, this setup will roll across the ground. So it's, works across pretty uneven ground. I've got outside my shop, I've got pretty hard ground. But when I'm working on the boat engines, I want to be able to get the actual engine out away from the shop so I can run the water to it and through it, and also run them in. So if I want to put an engine on here, I can run it for quite a few hours, and I want to be able to have it off to the side so I can continue doing other projects as well. So now, again, using carriage bolts, you know, for all the different pieces. Got this set up so that it can come through from the outside. And the way I designed this fits in here. You know, this is an optional piece. You don't even have to have this if you don't want it. But again, I use the same angle iron here, 2x3, that I used on the cross pieces. And this angle up here is 2x2. It's cut on a simple 45-degree angle and fitted in between, so I can put it in and out, or if I wanted to adjust it, I could adjust it. We fit that through here. These I use a washer, and actually, yeah, I believe that's here. Pretty straightforward assembly once you see all the pieces and parts, you know. This part, if I was doing this one again, I would actually use two smaller carriage bolts here, 3/8 instead of these half 13. These are half 13 carriage bolts. These on the casters are 3/8. Use a 9. This is a 3/4 inch wrench. The casters use a 9/16. But if I was doing these again, I would put two of the 3/8. Just makes a better fit, I think. And again, here you're just looking for snug. You're not trying to torque anything down. No need to collapse the side of the tubing. And I'll have to touch up some of the paint. So that handle gives me the ability to move the machine. It's in being heavy like that, big thick handle, you know, up about waist high, gives me the ability to get under it and really push it, you know, and get a handle on it and move it around. So, you know, it's really nice and heavy duty. So next are the stringers, and I've got those. Again, they're 2x3 angle. Show you the end here. It's just a piece of 2x3 angle welded. I wanted the 2-inch lip overhang for the 2-inch on the tubing and the 3-inch down so that it meets the back face of the tubing. So, and then I've got a hole drilled through to bolt them in. So, and I also want this inside runner, this bevel of the angle iron, to be in the center. So this piece will go on the outside here, like that. And this one will go in here. I'm going to be able to create shorter versions of these to mount on the sides, so we can put, you know, standard engine on here, LS6 or 454 or whatever, so that we can do regular street engines as well. There's enough room here. This is a 68 inches long, I believe. I've got the overall length that's 66 inches long. So in between, I've got 58 inches, and then internally, it's 32 inches wide. So overall, it's 36. But 36 inches on the outside, 32 on the inside. And what this allows me to do is I've got enough room to really get in here. I can put a radiator on here if I want to, for cooling purposes. Obviously on the boat engines, they have impellers, so you got the hose hook up. Just a lot of flexibility in this platform. So again, these are just regular half 13 carriage bolts. Put them in loose to start with. One of the things I did when I fitted this up was I made sure that these were a little bit loose on these end pieces. I didn't want it to snug fit. You want to be able to have a little bit of adjustment room to get everything lined up and put together. These are going to hold anywhere from 500 to 1,000, 500 to 800 pounds, maybe 1,000 pounds if you get a big block on there. Again, we'll tighten these up. We're not looking for any major torque here. This is just to keep them from moving around. Run them up hand tight. All right, so that's it for this part of the build. We got the engine stand put together. Next, I'm going to work on getting the engine mounted on the stand. I'll drill a few holes. And when we come back on the next video, we'll get into that, and hopefully we can get this engine running. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys really like what you see going on so far. I'm going to put some pictures in of this weld up of this engine stand. And, if you guys will, subscribe to my channel. As I can get more and more videos up over time, I want to be able to share with you guys the progress on these build outs. And I do a lot of other things as well, but I focus a lot, like I said, on metal, and I like to work on the boats. So they're a lot of fun. This is a good platform. I really enjoyed working on this block, and when we get it running, we'll get online and show you guys all about it. Any kind of trials that we have, we'll get them published, and please subscribe. Thank you very much.